Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's 3:30, 23. A lot of threes in there. You know that? Just we're on that topic. There was just a recent incident that I noticed a lot of threes in it too. They love doing it. Make up shit, do all sorts of shit, get everybody riled up. Where are the bodies? Same old shit. God, I'll tell you, man, they just don't know what to do anymore. They can't think of anything original anymore. They keep rehashing. This goes back 20, 30 years. They've been doing this. And even before I was awake, I really wish that, well, you know what? We have technology now that we can go back to anywhere and research it, and take a look at it. So I think I'm going to go into the Wayback Machine and check out some other things that we were lied to about, and I'm sure there are videos on that and interviews that we can laugh and giggle about all week long. Anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, well, all right. This is a couple things I just want to talk to you about real quick, okay? And I usually don't get political because it's all bullshit to begin with anyway, and it's there to... I mean, these people actually really do think they get into this office. They really think that. It's totally propelled. There's the sun. Look at it. 93 million miles away. My ass, it's a fucking projection. Christ. Fucking people, wake up. Wake the fuck up. That is not 93 million miles away. Unbelievable. Anyway. Shit. So these politicians actually really do think they are doing something in office, when meanwhile they're just puppets. They're told what to do. They're like dogs. They're told what to do. You do this, you do it that way, you do that. Because if any of them had a right mind, none of this would be happening right now. If any of these politicians gave a shit about you, they wouldn't be listening to other people. They would be cleaning up shit. They are creating shit, unfortunately. And it sucks. But people are so trained around here. They don't know. They think this should be happening. The city is a mess because of let's just say 2,000 offenders, repeat offenders. They keep letting out. They lock them up, they let them out a week later, or 2 days later, or maybe even before lunch. It's great. And it's 2,000 of them. They're just running amok in the city doing whatever the fuck they want. CVS's are closing down. All these major stores are closing down because they can't keep shit in stock. They just walk in, smash and grab $500 worth of items, walk out, they get arrested for a day or two, and then that's it. Now, I want you to reverse the table now, okay? Let's talk about us flat earthers who are unable to do what we really want to do, and that's to spread the word by maybe setting up a table somewhere. We have to go out and get several permits. We have to go out and get OKs. And if you set up that table without notifying anybody, you can get arrested. Now that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Us spreading the truth and doing what we want to do and wake people up, will get arrested for that, but yet I can walk into a CVS, I can steal $500 worth of merchandise, walk out with it, and nobody will touch me, and nobody will say a thing. Or I could shoot somebody, and nobody will touch me. They won't even put you in jail. That's great. That's the status of our world right now. Well, at least my state, we should say. God only knows what it's like up in further places that are drug-ridden. Who knows what's going on up there because you don't hear about it. The local news, which I don't watch anymore, it's become unwatchable. They never used to report on anything within, like I would say a 30-minute radius, unless if it was something that was going to create, shall we say, to frighten you. That's all the media is there for. It's there to frighten you, to scare you, to keep you in fear. And that's why I don't watch it anymore. You can't. When's the next meteor? Every time I open up Google to look for something, there's another meteor coming. There's another flying saucer that was seen. There was a well, you see, I find that amusing. So that's never gonna. I'm never gonna fear any of that shit because I know none of it exists. Do UFOs exist? Well, yeah, there's definitely shit up there, but they're not from a different galaxy. Okay. They didn't travel billions of light years to get here. They're right here. They're extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrials. Extra land. That's where they're from. Sometimes they come over here. Fuck around. You know? Why not? I would. Find a nice fast ship, go around. Sure. I'd go visit the, I don't know what they would call us. Who knows? Who knows? It's a good question. I wonder what the extraterrestrials do call us, you know? Anyway, I'm getting off the subject here on the topic. I want to talk about the plausible possibility of beyond flat Earth and living in a simulation. Okay. Now, when you're playing a video game, you have what we call NPCs. That's right, non-player characters. Those are characters that are just there to get in the way of what you're trying to do. And you have to get rid of them or whatever you have to do. But they're there to confuse you, to take you off of whatever that game that you're playing goal is. Okay. Well, in real life, we have NPCs here. I did a little researching, did some Google searching and stuff like that, and wanted to see if other people were talking about this. And actually, a lot of other gamers are talking about this. They're talking about NPCs in the real world, which there are. I've seen them. They're all around me. I mean, really. Look, you want to find one? Just open the window or walk outside on the sidewalk. You'll see them. They're just kind of wandering around. They don't react to anything that you say to them. I had this one person that I said flat Earth to him, I think 7 or 8 times, and I got no reaction at all from him. I kept throwing it in there, I mean, yeah, and flat Earth, and this was closed because of flat Earth. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't even say, why are you saying flat Earth? That's such a stupid thing. He didn't even bother attacking me, which I found even more amusing. I was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. That was an NPC. Do they have a soul? NPCs regularly are soulless. Some other gamers were talking about this, and they were saying that the human population is happening in such an explosion that sometimes some bodies are forgotten about and they don't have a soul. And I believe that. These serial killers, I don't really know much about that stuff, but what triggers them? Why do they do what they do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one of the most famous, legendary one here in New York, which was back in, I think it was in the 60s, the 70s. Summer of Sam was the name of the movie. They did a movie about him. He said that the devil was telling him to do things like that. I get confused something, with that. I'm thinking these people are just fucking lost, and you can't blame it on medication because there wasn't much medication that was available back then in the 70s and in the 80s, in the 60s. But now these children are being heavily medicated and they're being treated as guinea pigs. They don't know what this medication does. All they say is this little thing, this blurb on the bottom. This may change your personality. It doesn't say anything like, you might get up one day and get an AK-47 and start shooting people. Doesn't say that. But no, it can't say that. Because the pharmaceutical companies own you. They own the government and they own politicians. It's a $1 trillion industry. I don't even know how the fuck I got into this shit. But back to NPCs. That could very well be. But if we have NPCs here, okay, NPCs are among us. Obviously, we live in a simulation. Okay.
Some other people have mentioned that too in the stream, shall we say? You know, that hey, fuck, we must live in a simulation. You see, if you're accepting living in a simulation, then you're understanding flat Earth. Okay, because if you believe we live in a simulation, everything is flat. It's the only way. Space doesn't exist. There are no planets. Stars do not exist. You're not flying anywhere. You're not going anywhere. They will never, ever, ever play off landing anywhere ever again. They can't do it. And they'll just keep kicking the can down the road. Since nobody gives a shit and nobody talks about it, they'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. When finally you end up in a nursing home and you say, why didn't we ever go back? And that's it. Next generation, let's get them trained. It's going to go on like this unless people wake up. This will go on as long as they can get away with it. So your job out there is to wake fucking people up. I don't know how you want to do it. Just wake them the fuck up. Throw it in there in a sentence. Flat Earth. You know the fucking baseball game. I can't believe that guy. It's all because of flat Earth. You know, that's just throw it in there. Throw it. There was a guy I used to watch many years ago. When I first started getting into flat Earth, he's a funny guy. He would be on NBC or one of these major new networks, and he would say flat Earth like 6 times, and none of the anchor people would ever even acknowledge it. You know, I got to find that video again. Maybe somebody knows it out there. If you do, send me a link. I'll put it under the description or something like that. But I'll see if I can find it out there. But that's what you do. Do that. You know, do that to these NPCs that are out here, because they think everything is real. They think that the city should be the way it is right now. Worse than 1970. They think the politicians are real. That they're really there to serve and protect you. Serve and protect you. Think about that. To serve and protect. Has any politician anywhere in any state has ever done that at all? None that I know of. Maybe DeSantis down in Florida, but I'm sure he's got a lot of skeletons too in the closet. They all do. They're all career politicians. So you see that? This fucking creature or whatever the hell it is that's supposedly running this country, he's a mess. If Trump did anything if Trump even one day slipped up and spoke like Biden, he would be crucified for it. If he got up and forgot where he was and didn't know where the entrance was that he came through, he'd be crucified. If he got up and said a fraction of what Biden says on a daily basis on every single one of his meetings, he would be crucified. And that's just to let you know that this is all fake. It's all bullshit. Not a single news network even speaks about it. They don't even mention it. They don't mention the border anymore. They don't mention dick. As a politician, you take an oath to serve and protect your country, your people, and not one of them have done that. They're all fucking liars, every single one of them, and they're there to take your money and do whatever they fucking want with it. And that's it. That's how they are. But that's how everything is. None of it's real. TV is there to distract you. Games, sports, all of that is there to distract you. You wonder why these people make $150 million. They think they're really good at what they do. These actors think they are actually good actors. These singers actually think that they really know how to sing, when meanwhile everything is digitized now.
Don't be a sleeper. Don't be an NPC. Wake the fuck up. Wake others up. And do it before it's too late, because we're losing another generation. Right now, as we speak, we are losing another generation of children to this fantasy Walt Disney world. Okay? I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.